Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness some scenes from the next attraction to play this theater. This picture, truly one of the most unusual ever filmed, contains scenes which under no circumstances should be viewed by anyone with a heart condition or anyone who is easily upset. We urgently recommend that if you are such a person or the parent of a young or impressionable child now in attendance, that you and the child leave the auditorium for the next 90 seconds.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Video Nasty Project. Tonight, we've got a special treat in store for you. Tonight, we're bringing the only movie on the entire list that is endorsed by Anton LaVey, the head priest of the Church of Satan. Tonight, we're bringing you Evilspeak. Listen to Peace the Dark Gods and check out the trailer.
Everyone's known a boy like Stanley Coopersmith. Evilspeak. He's the kid everyone used to pick on.
Screwed up for the last time, Cooper Dick.
Evilspeak. You see, everyone thought Stanley was a joke. An outcast with no one to turn to.
You guys broke my catapult. You're gonna pay for that.
No one except man's most advanced machine. Stanley used the power of man to call on the powers of evil.
I, Stanley Coopersmith, command you! Oh my God.
And all hell broke loose.
Imbue these creatures with your strength and force. Let them avenge me.
Evilspeak. Remember that little kid you used to pick on? Well, he's a big boy now.
All right, I'm Tony.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Ian.
And we just got done seeing Evilspeak.
Yes, Evilspeak.
So, why don't you tell us about the movie a little bit?
Okay, so the Satanist led by the evil Esteban.
Played by, beautifully by Richard Mull. Oh my God, that was the part he was born to play.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the all of half a minute. You can
All right,
see him.
he's criminally underused. But,
So-
okay, so Richard Mull and his followers, go on.
Are dropped off in California, given a parcel of land by the church. They've been kicked out of Spain during the Inquisition for worshiping Satan and said, "You stay here, and we don't kill you." So they devote themselves to Satan. Eventually, they build a church, to Satan, and it becomes part of a larger structure, a military academy. Modern day,
Yeah.
being occupied in the early 80s by a bunch of really hard douchebags.
Every single person in the school is an asshole.
Suck.
To the man.
They so
Except
suck.
for Luca Brasi and
The cook.
and Dwayne from What's Happening.
Yeah.
Those are the only two nice people. And I suppose Coopersmith isn't necessarily a bad person, but he's just a milquetoast person. So Stanley Clint Howard is this cadet who can't do anything. He can't kick a soccer ball. He can't walk up a flight of stairs without stumbling. He is the perpetual whipping boy. You have these bullies who are antagonizing him the whole movie long. These, this kind
I
of...
hate them.
Oh my God.
I still hate them right now. I'm glad they're dead.
And they're all dead.
Fortunately, they all blew up by the power of Satan. And so these worst bullies in the world, because if any other college or any other academy, they would have been the ones being picked on. They had the fat kid, the tall, skinny, lanky kid. You had basically the outcast picking on the super outcast. So they pick on him all game long. The staff hates him. The staff says, assume the position, boy, because you couldn't kick a soccer ball, and the headmaster whips the hell out of him. And that's when he finds the Necronomicon. He goes he's cleaning out the basement of the church that Esteban built 500 years ago, and finds this crypt, this devil dungeon thing. Black candles everywhere, cobwebs, there's a fetus in a jar that comes back to life. And so he goes and he finds the Necronomicon and starts getting into it and say, hey, this is kind of cool, takes it to the library and starts plugging it into the computer so that he can translate Latin, because while he's learning Latin, he's not necessarily proficient enough to translate all this weird arcane shit that Esteban left.
So in the process of inputting it in as a translation, he's literally put the entirety of this book, Necronomicon, whatever, the Satan Bible, he's put the entirety of it into this Apple II computer.
Cutting edge technology for 1981.
Yes. Riding the wind then.
Eventually they throw him out of the library and he has to take the computer down to the devil dungeon.
Yeah, and which no repercussions from that.
No.
Now he is Cooper Smith is shown doing punishment detail. He's got to clean up the basement of the church. He's got to
slap out the pigs.
Slap out the pigs. He's got to do garbage detail at the cafeteria or whatever. But there's never shown any basis for what he did for the punishments that he's getting.
Basically, they're still blaming him for losing the soccer game at the beginning of the movie.
That very well could be it.
That's what they all started.
They never actually say why. It just got strongly implied that Cooper Smith is such a fuck up that they just pile shit.
He's the ultimate Schmendrick, and he just can't win. And his very existence irks these people.
He goes and it's like. It's just suddenly he's got the computer in the catacombs underneath the church. Boom,
right,
and it's never brought up. You don't have a teacher going, Cooper Smith, do you know what happened to the computer?
Groundskeeper Willie was in fact paying attention to where the fuck's my crowbar.
Yeah,
you can walk off with a $1,000 computer, not a problem. $20 crowbar, he will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, he very nearly did. I mean, he almost went all fucking Angus Scrim all over this kid.
So Groundskeeper Willie finds the devil dungeon and starts busting in. It's like, there's my fucking crowbar. You've got a dog down here. Because earlier in the movie, the cook, Luca Brasi, gives him a dog that he had been...
The runt of the litter.
The runt of the litter, yeah. He's going to die. Why don't you take care of him and take him off and we'll see what happens. If he lives, he lives. He takes him down to the devil dungeon, leaves him in this little cardboard box underneath a bed or something. Groundskeeper Willie comes down there and says, "Dog!" Yeah, and then that's when the power of Satan manifests and twists his head off like a corkscrew.
Turns it all the way around.
And this is after he's holding the puppy and is like, I'm going to twist the head off the puppy.
Ironic death.
Esteban in the computer goes, "Oh, really? You like twisting heads off thing? Here." Earlier at the beginning of the film, when they show Esteban and his followers, he decapitates one of his followers on the beach before they leave Spain. And it's like, nude woman, da-da-da-da-da, and click, horribly, obviously fake head, he chops it off.
The special effects in this are a little uneven.
Uneven.
The pig rampage, fucking brilliant. The heads being decapitated, not so much.
Well, but also this could have been down to a production schedule thing. They might have done the pigs first and run out of money and had to make do.
So Cooper Smith eventually unlocks the power of Satan, and everybody's being more and more assholish to him. And eventually the bully kids get down into the devil dungeon, find the dog, kill the dog, which sets off Cooper Smith to unleash the powers of Satan on them the very next day.
He completely unleashes unholy hell on these assholes.
Oh my god. Okay, the movie is more or less it starts really strong, and it's this kind of slow meandering. It's interesting. I enjoyed the story, but it was kind of this meandering, didn't really do anything events. And then it gets to the last 20 minutes, and the rails come off, and it's fucking insane.
Totally, completely.
Yeah, the floor explodes upwards, and Cooper Smith comes up out of the floor, and he doesn't just stop and walk. He starts flying around 5-6 feet off the floor.
With a sword in his hand.
A big fucking claymore, man.
About to fuck people up big time. I mean, heads cut in half, heads are chopped off, pigs come in, chomp people. I mean, they're
Flames
munching ass all
everywhere.
over the place.
Oh
my God.
And oh man, and the effects and the blood. Okay, so the pigs looked great. The your occasional ropey decapitation, but I mean the geysers of blood looked awesome. It really pays off in the last 20 minutes.
Also add, okay, so Cooper Smith leaves his books behind when he goes to see the headmaster. They wind up on the desk of the secretary outside. The Book of the Dead falls into the trash can. She picks it up. She tries to get the seal with the pentagram off of it, and she's reading it.
There's jewels in
or
it, whatever.
And she's reading it, and while Cooper Smith is slopping the pigs, she inadvertently satanizes the pigs. They go after Cooper Smith. They later come back for her later on as she's taking a shower.
After her second attempt of trying to remove
the thing.
that
And she gets munched, and pretty graphically, too.
Eviscerated.
Oh, yeah, the pigs just come flying at her into the restroom.
They pull her
and there she is
apart.
all naked, and her boobies all flying, and she's all like, pigs, pigs, pigs. The one thing I wish they had done, I think the movie is really strong, but there are a couple of points that it could have been stronger in, and you mentioned this one earlier, where it was... Okay, so she's trying to pry the jewels off the Necronomicon.
The second time.
And she cuts herself, and it's in a long shot, and she kind of goes, sticks her finger in her mouth, and then walks off and does the shower bit. What would have made it stronger is if she had cut herself and show a little bit of blood hitting the book, satanizing it even more, and kind of emphasizing, hey, you've just activated the Necronomicon.
Because there's the whole thing about human blood is needed. The computer screen, this is what's really great in the movie, is the computer screen. The first time he tries to cast the black mass, the computer screen actually goes, no blood, no...
insufficient data. And then when they kill the dog, the computer says need human blood.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that sequence. That everybody, all the bullies are like, "Can kill," and the music is swelling, and the head bully's just about to do this, and the computer's like, boom, 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 and then just stab, and it's just like it turns off like that, just like,
and then it says.
Insufficient
human blood.
And the puppy they got for this, oh my God, this is the most gorgeous little puppy I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Completely terrified when they have the close up of this dagger against this puppy, and you can tell this dog
I'd be
is
terrified too.
And I was like, holy, those are some great shots. Yeah. They were just like they add to it.
And then
immensely.
Let's talk about how the proper amount of human blood is accomplished.
Oh God, yeah. Right before the wheels fall off
the Latin teacher.
I forgot
so
about
he comes
him.
down. This
greedy Smurf.
He might as well be Hitler because he has a thick German accent. He sounds like Boris Badenoff. He walks with a limp. He kind of comes hobbling down. Go, Smith, where are you? And he finds the devil dungeon. What in God's name is going on here? And he turns around and just throws him into this chandelier and just he spikes off it and just poof, and blood starts raining down.
Cup of blood underneath one stream.
And then he has to drink it.
So one of the things that I would have done if I were writing this movie is I would have... You have the back of the movies backlit with all this gore and action and Clint Howard flying around decapitating every motherfucker in the room. What I would have done, I wouldn't have touched the end of the movie. Leave that absolutely as is. Perfect. But I would have had Cooper Smith unlock a little bit of Satan here, a little bit of Satan here, a little bit of Satan there, and have start dispensing justice through the movie. So that way all your violence isn't backloaded.
Yeah.
So we get the secretary, she gets killed, and we get the groundskeeper Willie, he gets killed. I would have had a little more of that. Every 10 minutes, kill a motherfucker.
Although, and one interesting thing, so Esteban manifests himself. His face gets mapped over Cooper Smith's face, and that is fucking creepy ass because Cooper's face is backlit, so it's completely black with Esteban's face over it hovering.
Basically, Esteban possesses him.
It was so goddamn brilliant for 1981 no budget special effects. It was really
they
good.
didn't have to actually do a super.
Yeah, that's old school stuff.
In camera trickery, and it was done well.
Smoke and mirrors minus the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Another scene that would have been stronger when it came to it is Bubba, the chief bully.
I hate him.
He's running from the pigs, And he gets into a side office, side room, whatever, in the church, and he closes the door, and, okay, I'm safe, and he collapses and slides to the floor, leaning against the door. And one of the pigs busts through the door over his left shoulder. You see gnarly teeth, and there's enough of a bite to pull him through the hole of the door partially. And then he escapes the grip of the pig and flees, and his shirt is shredded, but there isn't a wound on him.
Maybe that was Satan just playing with him. Because after that, he runs down into the Devil Dungeon, and then Groundskeeper Willie, who had his head twisted off, comes back from the dead and absolutely fucks his shit up by ripping his heart out.
His beating heart.
His beating heart, and then showed it to him.
It's like, here, still beating heart.
He goes on Mola Ram and shit on him. Tommy Ray Glattman.
And that was the scene that got the movie the X rating until they had to cut it and tweak it around a little bit.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right about the... it shouldn't have been Groundskeeper Willie that killed Bubba. It should have been go with Esteban, have Richard Mole come back and just fuck his shit up. It should have been Stanley. It should have been somebody other than, this drunk guy that's been hanging out in the basement for a whole
Hell,
night.
even Luca Brasi, you killed my puppy. I gave this puppy
my
to
God,
the kid,
that would've been
and you
brilliant.
fucking killed him. Guess what I'm gonna do to you? And then have the, the pigs
like
come
Satan
in
Dog
and-
or something.
Satan dogs. And if the puppy had come back possessed and had gone all like Satan, ripped his throat out or something.
If leaving it with the Sarge, as everyone calls him in the film, Groundskeeper Willie from over here, if he, with it being as it was, something to establish a connection as to why it is a poignant bit of the sergeant kills Bubba. Something previous in the film to establish that there's a reason, there's an animosity between the sergeant and Bubba. And I may have died, I'm back, and you're getting yours.
Exactly.
But it doesn't happen.
And that's, I think, the biggest flaw with the movie is that, it's a really good script, but I think with a little more polishing and tweaking, it would have been a great script.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got Cooper Smith and Bubba, and these two guys are clearly nemesis, and Cooper Smith eventually starts standing up to him, standing up to the entire gang, and then you've got, what's his name, Reggie from Good Times keeps coming in, being pushed back by the gang, but he's clearly in Cooper Smith's, camp, so I think he got spared.
There was somebody else who was underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Totally.
There should have been some moment of, what are you doing, Stanley?
There you go.
That whole bit is lost and should have been there. Stanley, why are you doing this? Think about what you're doing. Stop. But nope, it's not there.
Maybe to show how far Stanley had gone, he kills him maybe, or something.
Yeah.
Because Dwayne comes into the kitchen and asks Luca Brasi, it's like, hey, have you seen Stanley? I think he's in trouble. And then he just kind of runs off and we never see him again.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I think the movie had a lot of cuts that are lost. What we have now on DVD is complete. It is the completest it's going to get, but it is not the whole movie.
Yeah, there are scenes gone.
So I think maybe something like that might have gotten lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it sounds like we're ripping into the movie, and that's not fair. No. The movie is well shot. There's a lot of great compositions. Okay, the mirror Esteban Cooper Smith trick, and then there's like the priest is up giving a pep talk to the soccer team in the church. And he's leaning up against the crucifix here, but then you see the picture of Esteban in the back looking on and is like, I'm going to fuck you up in 10 seconds. So there's a whole bunch of really clever stuff like that. And the set designs look gorgeous. The Devil Dungeon looked amazing.
There was money in the production.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever managed the money spending,
Or they just said, okay, we can either have decapitations or we can have a Devil Dungeon. What do we need more?
Devil Dungeon, Devil Pigs.
Yeah.
The money spending actually went so far as Clint Howard actually had to pay for his toupee. He's wearing a toupee in this film. He had to pay for it.
Although I think the toupee was actually a brilliant idea because for the entire movie it's kind of combed over, and so you don't see. Okay, let's be honest. Clint Howard has a really huge fucking forehead, so it's kind of combed over and de-emphasizes his forehead. When he starts flying around and decapitating everybody, the hair's all back and wild, and all of a sudden you got this big cranium on Cooper Smith, and so I think it's more effective that way. So it's not fair to make him pay for his own goddamn toupee, though.
And I thought the priest was going to be the consecrated blood person who was going to get it. You know, because he was getting on Cooper Smith a lot, you know, and coming around, and then, you know, he'd say, "Oh, Cooper Smith, you've got a blah 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 blah, you know, why are you always such trouble?" You know, type of deal. You know, he's just does the same shit everybody else does. And since he's a holy man, I thought, oh, consecrated blood, what better than the priest?
Yeah, so here's the church all exploding into absolute hell, and the headmaster is like, "Cooper Smith, stop flying around." I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, why do you have to? I would have just like, get the hell out of there. It's like, Clint Howard's flying at me with a claymore? Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Gotta go, bitches.
Yeah, that's to run.
And he literally gets his head split open for his effort.
Yes, satisfying.
It was.
It's like a big ass Snickers. It satisfies.
It really satisfies.
A
Yeah,
lot.
I really dug the last 20 minutes just fucking mental. Oh my god. Just
Even though you could say that it's a lackluster middle of the film, the pacing is still right.
I never lost interest. It was always kept my attention. There was always something going on, some kind of development. I didn't lose. My attention didn't waver, and I saw it twice in 3 days.
Oh yeah, and you know, with Cooper Smith continually going back to the well and becoming more and more possessed and everything, and kind of just the eyes are just glazed over. You know, for the majority of the film, I could see him building up this whole huge reserve of evil that he's going to unleash eventually. You know, and it also drives home the fact that this kid's a loner. I mean, he's the ultimate schlemiel. I mean, just bad stuff happens to him, and he's got nobody but the cook and Dwayne and this puppy. And Dwayne is off doing things a lot of the time. He has to keep the puppy in under a broken crate or bench or something like that. And then the cook is just, it's just like, oh, yeah, this guy's cool.
And it's like the guy, does the guy age? The movie's done in 81, and
Godfather came out in 72.
Yeah, it looks exactly the
72
same.
looks
Yeah.
exactly the same. And then wasn't he in Sopranos?
He might have been. I mean, he did a lot of stuff after the
And
Godfather.
it's like,
He was a
he
wrestler
looks
before
exactly the same. Everything about the film is good.
Yeah.
It's worth watching. It has enough gore to make you go, ooh, ha ha ha, blood and guts.
Everybody is a complete asshole, but it is so immensely satisfying when they get their comeuppance in the last.
yeah.
Oh my god! It's like, finally I have release. Ah. So, what was your favorite death?
The fat kid that got torn apart by pigs, because he was just as bad as Bubba. The other two bullies were kind of like following these two.
Yeah.
In a way, they were less abrasive. They were still assholes, but nowhere near as much as this fat kid and Bubba. And this kid gets pulled apart by these pigs. I mean, he gets cornered in a room. There's 3 of them. They come in here. They just start noshing on him. They tear him open. They, remove guts or whatever. I'm just like, oh, yeah. Fuck you asshole!
So, what was your favorite kill?
The puppy. No, I'm sorry. Bubba's.
All right.
Sarge comes up, hand through the center of the chest, pulls the heart out. Man.
I'm going to have to go with the spike to the head because it's amazingly visceral. The reaction is so cool, and it's the fuse that sets every motherfucker off. So it is so satisfying to just see this fucker get it.
And I can't stand Bubba. I hate him so much because he's so overly effusively bad and overly just sarcastic, always ruining shit. He comes in, he makes fun of everybody and everything. Even the blonde girl that's dating him, she can't stand him. She's at a point she's like, "Oh, quit."
Oh, she totally emasculates him in front of his posse.
Yeah, it's like twice. Maybe 3 times. And, finally, after watching the priest get killed, all that goes away. It just gets wiped away, and it's like, ah! It's like, fuck you, Bubba! Oh, yeah. Satisfying. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, seeing the fear in his face was just made it all worth it. Oh, there was there's some, little side bits and stuff, little things that aren't entirely horror. I mean, for Military Academy, they have a beauty pageant, It's
that
just
was
like
weird.
A military academy, basically high school age kids, and they have a beauty pageant. And some of the girls, they're
Miss
not
Heavy
wearing-
Artillery, thank you very much.
Miss Harvey
Miss-
Artillery.
yeah.
And
She-
none of
they're
them had
not-
heavy
they're-
artillery.
They're not wearing bikinis. They're wearing lingerie,
Yeah.
which is just like, okay, this is like moral and upright. Yeah, because there's the scene with the staff all sitting there, and the priest is literally.
Better ogling the girls than ogling the little boys.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, does this belong in the video nasty list?
no.
No.
Yeah, this is.
This movie is so goddamn tame.
It does have blood and gut moments, but they're not in your face.
So we just watched the season 2 premiere of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and that is so fucking bloody, where Ash grabs like a demon and he's like chainsawing the fuck out of him. There's a spray of blood everywhere, and that's goddamn broadcast television. Admittedly, it's cable, but compared to this is nothing. This is grade school stuff.
This would have gotten a PG-13 or an R. I mean, Indiana Jones and Dreamscape had hearts being pulled out of the chest.
They had to edit it down to avoid an X rating.
I think what landed this movie on the list was that the Satan angle. I think that made the blue hairs freak the fuck out. If it wasn't so satanic heavy, if it was just Carrie blowing up her classmates, I don't think it would have.
Well, if Anton LaVey endorsed this film, then I can see the Church of England freaking out big time.
Yeah.
So, acquitted, not on the list, case dismissed. Did we like the movie?
Yeah, it was all right. It was better than I remembered the first time I'd seen it.
Did you like the flick?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's one of those movies. I'd have it on the shelf. I would rewatch it.
I really liked it. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was super enthusiastic thumb up, but I would certainly give it a kind of a thumb up. It was definitely worth watching. I've watched it twice in a week now. I enjoyed it.
I mean, me personally, just having an issue with this character being bullied and taking so long to get revenge. But some people would say, well, yeah, he's been pecked away at so much in his life, and all this tragedy and everything has made him skittish and whatnot, and he gets his backup at the end.
Yeah, at the end, his complacency goes on a little too long.
But aside from that, no, I think, okay, we're all good to go. Hey,
Yeah.
man. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us as we dissected Evilspeak. Be sure to check back in next week when we watch... all right, you knew it was coming. We watch Faces of Death next week. In the meantime, if you want to send us some feedback and some email, you can drop us a note. Our email address is thevideonastyproject, all one word, @gmail.com. And then hit the subscribe button. This will be right there in a second. And I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Did I have qualms about playing a satanic priest? I love this guy.